I wanted to explain a little bit more about what has been happening in the last few days and what's been going on with my chemo and cancer. So the original plan back when I first got cancer was 4 rounds of chemo, and then they were going to recheck it to see what happened, and hopefully with the 4 rounds of chemo that would make my tumors in my lungs and my lymph nodes go away. And then if they went away, they would plan surgery to remove the tumor from my colon, which is good. It's really, really good. So we had a mini celebration yesterday with tacos and ice cream, and we celebrated that my live active cancer cells were down. So I posted that on Facebook, and I know it confused some people because they thought that my cancer had gone away. That's not quite true, but if it didn't go away, they were gonna do 2 more rounds of chemo. So 2 weeks ago, I finished my 4th round of chemo. This week, I had tests, and I got a CT and blood work. I didn't get a PT, I don't know why, but I got a CT. They found out that my cancer, or like my tumors in my lungs and my lymph nodes have shrunk. They haven't gone away, but they shrunk, which is good. And they also found out that my live active cancer cells are gone, which is really good news. So one thing is, like, everyone in their body has cancer cells, and the normal percent is like less than 5% of the cells in your body are cancerous, except with normal people, your body just attacks them and nothing happens. Your white blood cells just kill them, and you always have cancer cells in your body. But it's when the cancer cells get together and they form a tumor, they just all pile in one area, and that's how like tumors start. So I have like the tumors in my lungs and my lymph nodes, and then my colon, obviously. And so with that, they checked my live active cancer cells, and when I first started, they were in 18% of my body. And now we found out normal is less than 5%. And now we found out after 4 rounds of chemo, my cancer cells, my live active cancer cells, are at 2.7%. Yeah, my cancer cells are down, but my cancer's not gone. I'm not cancer free yet. So what my doctor said was that since my live active cancer cells are down, that's a really good thing. My body and my chemo doesn't have to fight them anymore. So that's easier for the chemo to attack my tumors now. Just my tumors, it doesn't have to put up with the live cancer cells. I have a team of doctors, and they said that I could probably not do the 2 more rounds of chemo, and that my body would probably just fight the tumors until they disappeared. But with that, there's a risk of the live active cancer cells going back up because there's nothing there like keeping them down. They were debating whether I had to do chemo again, and if you couldn't tell, I have my strap and my chemo. So I had chemo today, which kind of sucked, but whatever. With every chemo that I get, my side effects get worse and worse. So my last round was pretty bad. I got like, my body just aches and gets really sore. Like today, since I got chemo, my legs went completely numb, and my arms are completely numb, and half of my face went numb, which was interesting. So I was walking around, and like my legs are completely numb. I can't feel them. And so it was like really strange walking around being like, am I going to fall down, or is my leg like there? I'm actually walking straight, and I kept like tripping over stuff because my legs like felt funny. My arms and my hands, I have a harder time with the numbness because I can't do anything then. Like my fingers they'll like lock up and like it'll be really hard for me to use my phone or to text anything because like my hands will just touch the wrong keys. Now I'm really sensitive to cold, so I get cold really fast, and I kind of get like body chills, like, you know, if you drink something really cold and you get a brain freeze. I get like that sensation in my hands and in my feet. And the weird thing today was that my half of my face, just half of it, so it was like split like right here, and just this half got like numb, which was really weird because it felt like I had to sneeze the entire time. You're like really uncomfortable feeling where you're making all funny face and you're like, I have to sneeze, and then it's like right before you sneeze, and then you sneeze and it goes away. That's like the feeling I had in my face. It was really weird. I'm like, I have to sneeze, but it's not a sneeze, and I can't sneeze, and it's not going to go away with the sneeze. And so like my face would just go numb. This half of my lips, it would be weird to move them, and my tongue was like tingling, and so like it was really funny to talk. And my cheek, like to smile or anything, it would just be like numb, kind of like when you go to the dentist and they numb it and you're all like talking funny. So I might not have to have my second round of chemo. They're going to talk about it because I think that my tumors are like small enough that they're hoping that this round of chemo just kind of destroys them, that I won't have to have my next round of chemo. I'm really hoping, because I don't really like chemo that much, and it kind of just sucks. Like, chemo side effects are the worst. My body just gets like really sore, kind of like after a really, really hard workout, and you like, you know, you're lifting weights and you're like, after you did like 3,000 of them and you're just like, okay, 3,001, and then like you're exhausted and your body just kind of gives up on you. And then like the next day you're sore and everything. That's kind of what my body's like all the time. And then like with the numbness, now my hand's numb. And it's really hard for me to move it. Like I can move it, it's just I don't feel that I'm moving it. So it's really awkward if I have to do something with my hand. Right now the hardest thing is like buttons. So like unbuttoning my pants to go to the bathroom or anything. Or if I was wearing a buttoned shirt, trying to do like something little like that because my hands will go numb. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, another side effect is like I can't drink anything cold. So I have to have like everything room temperature or hotter. And even like right now, since I'm just started a chemo, it actually has to be body temperature or hotter, which is hotter than room temperature. Like I have problems right now like swallowing even my own spit because it's not hot enough. So it goes down kind of hard and it kind of hurts. But that kind of feels like I had tonsillitis, which is like when your tonsils in your throat like swell up really, really big and they don't go down. And so I had to get my tonsils removed. And like since you have a sore throat and your tonsils are so big, like your hole in the back of your throat's really small. So every time you swallow, it's like really hard. It's kind of what it's like with cold stuff. It's just kind of really hard to swallow. So I have to have like warm water or hot chocolate or apple cider or anything that tastes good warm. It's kind of hard. And last time, typically, so it used to go away after like a week. And I could drink like cold stuff with ice in it, or I could drink ices. But this time it didn't go away. So it's probably not going to go away again this time. Because every time you get chemo, your body wears more and more, and you get weaker, and it gets worse. I hope you understand like the difference between my live active cancer cells saying like that went away, which is good, and the difference between like my tumors. Because I know some people were confused about it and they're like, oh yeah, you're cancer free. When are you going to have surgery? I'm not having surgery yet because my tumors aren't gone. I want my tumors to go away because they found out when I first got diagnosed with cancer, it was at stage 2. And they found a tumor the size of an orange in my colon. So I had stage 2 colon cancer. And then after doing more tests, they found out my tumor, or like my live active cancer cells, had like spread in my body to my lungs. So technically I have lung cancer, but since I had colon cancer first, they just say that I have colon cancer stage 4. And so like I have tumors in my lungs and I have tumors up and down my lymph nodes. And so they're hoping that with this last round, or my 5th round of chemo, that they go away. And that I don't have to do 6th round chemo because that would suck. Still really like optimistic about it and everything. I like making videos for you guys and sharing it, which I know you guys have questions, and if you guys ever have questions, you can just comment below, and I'm really open to talking about like anything. I don't mind talking about my cancer, or if you guys have questions on how like I got it, or if something doesn't make sense and I need to explain it more, or you just have like a random question. I know like one of the questions I get a lot is because people think, or they know that I'm an actor in LA, and they're like, have you met anyone from The Walking Dead? Or they'll be like, have you met these people? Or what celebrities have you worked with? And that's a lot of fun. So if you guys have any questions about anything, just comment below, or you can, if you're Facebook friends with me, ask me or add me on Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube. It's like it's Allie_Powers 28. I will add my Instagram below. You guys can see it. I take pictures of like art and my nails a lot. This is what I did during chemo today. And then, oh yeah, I did these while I was sleeping. It was so cool. Like I had them like half done, and then they gave me Benadryl, and that puts me to sleep like right away. And so I'm like, no, I have Benadryl. I want to finish my nails. So I'm like drawing these nails out, and I was working on this hand. This is like, so I'm left-handed, so this is like my bad hand. I was finishing up this hand, and I'm like, no, I'm sleeping. So like my brain was like half asleep, and I'm like trying to draw these lines, and that like my brain's so asleep that my eyes are like blurry, and so I couldn't see my fingernails anymore. I'm just like, I'm hoping I'm getting these lines on, and they turned out pretty good. Like the lines are pretty straight. So I guess I can paint my nails in my sleep, which is kind of cool.